Now there's a couple of things that can go wrong when you're riding, and I'm going to list them and what they are and what to do about it. Just a couple of basic pointers. It's not a full training video, there's a lot more to it. It's very important to learn how to avoid these things happening in the first place, because your horse will only do it if they're confused, frightened or disrespectful. The better we get at avoiding it in the first place, then we don't even have to deal with it. Now bucking. Bucking is, you would have seen in a rodeo or something like that when a horse bucks. So basically the horse is trying to get you off. So there's two things I want to do. A is I want to try to stay on, and I want to get the horse to stop if I can. Now, the horse will jump up in front and then kick up behind. So what will happen is you'll come up and then you'll get flicked. It'll come up and get flicked as it does that, and it often will get you out of time and throw you off. So what I want to do, if the horse starts to buck, is I'm going to bend him around like this, and it bends him into a stop, and it sort of stops him a little bit. So that is generally how I'll go about trying to stop a horse that is bucking. The next thing is bolting. And bolting is when a horse takes off and you can't control it. Again, you want to do things to stop it happening in the first place. But if a horse really gets to running, what a lot of people do is they lean back and fight the horse's mouth. Now if he's running, especially through fear, it's usually a fear thing. If a horse bolts and takes off, they're scared. And if you're reefing on your reins like that, you're not helping and you're making it worse. So if you can relax and maybe direct the horse and guide him around somewhere rather than fight him, because once he gets running, it's like a steam train charging down a hill. It's all too late. So I would try to bend him around in a big circle and wind him in and slow him down. The next thing is rearing. And rearing is when the front end comes right up like that, like a Ferrari horse. And what the mistake a lot of people make is they feel unbalanced. As the horse comes up, they're scared of falling out the back, so they often pull on the reins. But what happens then is you can pull the horse over on top of you. So it's very important if a horse rears up to try to lean forwards and not pull on his head. So lean forwards like that and balance. As he comes up, you have to try to stay upright. So as he comes up, you've got to try to stay upright and not lean back like that. That'll help him come back down, and then try to get him to go forwards. The next problem is striking, and that doesn't happen a lot when you're riding them, but it can happen. And striking is with the front foot strike. Sometimes they might strike at the bit if they don't understand the bit, but if they've been broken in properly, that shouldn't happen. If a horse was to do it, I would just ride him forwards. The next thing is kicking. And there's two sorts of kicking. There's kicking out at something away from them, or kicking forwards maybe at your feet, which is called a cow kick. Cow kicks when they come up underneath, with their back foot come up underneath and maybe kick at my feet. So if they're doing that, I need to get better at getting my horse going. If they're kicking at my feet, I have to get my horse going. Now if they kick at someone behind them, what I do always is pull them around, and it pulls their back feet. So instead of them kicking that way, I pull and push this leg on, like that, there. Step the horse out of the way so they can't kick at that thing behind them, whether it's another horse or a person or whatever. And sometimes a horse will try to bite your foot. So you might be here and they might turn around like this and bite at you like that. If my horse does that, what I usually do is bump him with my foot. Don't kick him in the head like it's a football. If he comes around, you can bump on him, and then he'll generally put his head straight and go the other way. Now there's some basic warning signs that a horse will tell you before it does some of those vices. So if a horse gets very tight and freezy and tight, he's warning that he might buck. And if you're having trouble getting a horse to go forwards, often that's a little bit of a warning that he might rear up. And if he's getting worried about something behind him, he gets all tense, and you can tell he's sort of worried about something behind him, then he might be thinking about kicking out. Or if he gets cross, if you're bumping with their legs and he gets all cross, then they might bite or cow kick at your feet. So they're giving you little warning signs that what they might do. And it's the better you get at seeing the warning signs and learning how to not have them do the bucking or the bolting or the rearing, the striking or the kicking, any of those things, then you start to head off trouble before it happens.